This is a story of Dave and Sharon finally living their dreams of sailing to the Caribbean and beyond. Join us while we share our adventures from getting the boat ready and embarking on our cruising life. We are leaving Port Jefferson right now. I don't know what time it is, I didn't look, but it's a lot later than we planned. But the weather is calm. There's a ferry coming in. And Dave is motoring through the channel. Nice and calm, which we need.
We are motor sailing.
So we just left Port Jefferson and went out to New York East River, and we got there just at the beginning of high tide, going out, slack, whatever it is, so that the tide goes out. You want to go through the East River when the tide is going out, and we got there at the beginning. So it was a fast ride through. People warned about being busy, crowded with boats. It wasn't. There was just lots of, at the beginning it was easy. At the end there were lots of water taxis and a couple barges, but that's it. It wasn't that bad. So we got out and there's the Statue of Liberty. During the sunset, it's beautiful. So we went up further, went through a bridge and around, and ended up finding a nice quiet cove on the side of a beach in on Coney Island, and that's where we stayed. By the time we got the anchor down and all of that stuff, it was 7, 8 o'clock at night. We had a long haul to get to Atlantic City, and we didn't want to get there at night, so we wanted to get there in the daylight to find Anchorage, because it's pretty tough finding it in the dark. So far, Port Jefferson, no, Block Island was in the dark, Port Jefferson was in the dark, and by the statue, and then Coney was in the dark. We wanted Atlantic City to be in the light. We still don't have an autopilot, and that's a problem, so we have to take turns, and we're not going to sail all night. That's why we want to find Anchorage, so we're not beat up like we were that first day out, or second day going from Block Island to Port Jefferson. We are leaving New York City, and it's just before dawn. We wanted to get a head start so we can get to the next place before dark. And we left Coney Island to head for Atlantic City. And so we got up actually at 4:45, and we're pretty much lifting the anchor by a little after 5. And we have to follow the channel out, and it's better to start in the dark than it is to end in the dark. So we were okay with that because we knew the sunrise was coming. So we went out the channel. Oh, and what a beautiful sunrise. It was absolutely gorgeous leaving New York Harbor. It's an amazing sunrise. And we had favorable winds so that we could actually sail part of the way, but they were light winds, so we really needed to, we figured out we needed to make 6 knots in order to get there before dark.
There's Sharon in the back. She's took a little nap, and probably until the radio crackled on.
I'm all wrapped up in my stadium blanket, my winter hat and coat. It's sunny, but the wind is blowing through these side panels, so it's cold, but I dozed off. It was a beautiful sunny day. Everything was going well. Here's Atlantic City, and guess what we're seeing? Sunset. And we're still not quite there. You can see the buildings. You can see that beautiful sunset. Well, of course, we got over to Atlantic City, and it's dark. We're approaching Atlantic City, and this is where we're going to find Anchorage. Dave is actually down there at nav station charting where it is. I'm up here steering, and it just seems like every night we look for Anchorage, it's in the dark. We left really early this morning so we could get Anchorage in the light, but it just didn't work out. So it's not dark at the moment, but it will be by the time we get in there. We ended up not sailing out of Atlantic City because it was way too rough for us. But we had to get up thinking that we were dragging anchor, but we weren't. So tonight we're going to go to bed early, get up early, and the weather's supposed to be in our favor, and we head off to our next Anchorage tomorrow. We are leaving Atlantic City. It looks bigger on this side than it did from the other side. We set up a course for Delaware Bay and ended up reaching it around lunchtime. Since there was still a lot of daylight left, we decided to sail further and head for Ocean City, Maryland. We are getting close to Ocean City, Maryland. I think it's Maryland. And it's getting close to sunset. We're entering Ocean City. Uh-oh, we're stuck in the sand. It's also dark out and the tide is going out. This is as scary as can be because it's very shallow in the sand. So we called Cito. When Cito arrived, they hooked up to us and ended up breaking their line trying to pull us off the sandbar. They tried 2 more times and broke their line 2 more times. Cito was actually pulling us more onto the sand rather than off. They ended up leaving, so we called Boat US. They couldn't do anything until high tide, which was at 5 a.m.
So we're stuck on a sandbar.
We are sideways.
We are sideways. But in the meantime, the water went so low that we feared this would happen, and it did. We went onto our side. So we're sitting here probably in about 1.5 feet of water. And wait, it is low tide. We just went over at mean low tide, so it's coming back in now.
Yeah, it was 11:44 p.m., but it was 11:50 when we kind of went over.
Well,
Boat US came by early in the morning and pulled us off the sandbar in seconds. We also followed him out of the channel to the mouth of the little bay. There's a peak of the sunrise as we head south towards Virginia.